Hey guys, here I try this again, Gaming Edition, and for this video I actually want to share my theories on why Crimson Typhoon and Cherno Alpha actually lost to Leatherback and Otachi. Now, a lot of people are saying that that these two Jaegers lost because the kaijus were already made for them, but I actually have evidence from the film that proves otherwise. Not just from the film, but it's never even actually it's not even said in the film that these two kaijus are made to defeat Leatherback and Otachi. Now I can see why fans would think that, because Leatherback could counter Cherno's armor, and Otachi was a fast combatant. But I want to share my thoughts about this. So first of all, there's actually evidence within the film, like I said, that proves that Otachi was not made for Crimson Typhoon. First of all, it's actually a bit of tactical errors on Crimson Typhoon's part, where if you look here in this shot, Crimson Typhoon is looking literally right, like to the left, when Otachi emerges right over here, which is to the right, and that basically leaves Crimson Typhoon open to the tail swipe. Now, so really that was one tactical mistake I noticed within the film. And so as you can see here, the Crimson Typhoon uses the thundercloud formation, and he actually starts off the fight strong like this, as he attacks Otachi here and there using the thundercloud formation. But and then right in this scene you can see here, Crimson Typhoon smashes Otachi right into the water, just like that. So really, you can see here that Crimson Typhoon starts off strong, and really Otachi's not really able to kind of fight back. And so as you can see here, right after Otachi smashed into the water, Cherno Alpha runs in and hits Otachi. So what? Basically, now Crimson Typhoon's biggest tactical error is right after Cherno Alpha is smashed into the water. So another tactical error is right after Cherno Alpha is smashed into the water. I'm gonna play back here. So if you watch closely, if you look closely at this scene here, you can notice that you might notice that Crimson Typhoon leaves himself wide open. He's not even protecting the head at all. You can see his right arm over here, and his two left arms over here, and he's leaving himself wide open. And then that's when Otachi comes in for the tail swipe and goes in for the head. So this just really kind of basically, what I feel like here is just that Crimson Typhoon just left himself vulnerable by not guarding his head or anything. He's just not doing anything to protect his head, just going into the fight. And to me that basically feels like he's giving Otachi an opportunity to go for the head, and really Otachi just takes that without hesitation whatsoever. But another error I noticed is that if you look at the speed that Crimson Typhoon is moving at, you can notice how he's moving pretty slow for someone who was like he's moving pretty slow despite Otachi being extremely fast. And so really, like, I feel like that was just another tactical error, which hopefully this has proven my point of ain't. Now another error that with the so now a lot of people are saying though that Leatherback is meant for Cherno, but I have a feeling that like I have evidence that proves otherwise. See, Leatherback specifically appears in this shot right here. If I can get a good enough. Basically, you can see here that Leatherback appears here right now at this moment. But notice how he only appears after Crimson Typhoon dies, and Cherno is like extremely vulnerable. Cherno literally just got spit. Like Otachi literally just hit Cherno with acid, and then Leatherback just comes in, and you can also notice right here that it looks like Otachi's like eating Cherno's arm. So really, I feel like it was just a matter of tactical errors and unfair backup, like when it was not even needed. Now, let's just say that, like Leatherback and Otachi was actually meant for Cherno and Crimson, but it was not actually in the way a lot of fans might think. A lot of fans, like a lot of fans say Otachi was meant for Crimson Typhoon because Otachi was a fast and agile combatant just like Crimson Typhoon, and Leatherback was meant for Cherno Alpha because both of them are very like highly armored and have a lot of physical strength. But that's where I think that's actually where I think it goes wrong. See, when I want to ask something to the Pacific Rim bands. Is it like is that so basically something I want to ask to Pacific Rim bands is that if something like if a kaiju was made to defeat a Jaeger, wouldn't that kaiju have to be able to exploit the weakness of the Jaeger? And now I want you to think about that for a quick moment. Like pause the video if you need to think about that. But if you use that logic in this, it seems like Cherno versus Leatherback would be actually a fair fight, just like Crimson and Otachi was a fair fight because both were fast and both were fast, agile, and deadly combatants. But I actually think it was really the opposite, where Leatherback was actually meant for Crimson Typhoon, and Otachi was meant for Cherno. Now, a lot of fans might be asking what I mean by this, and the reason I say this is because of the question I asked earlier, which is like, shouldn't the kaiju be able to exploit the weakness of the Jaeger? And well, this is what these two kaijus do. For example, Leatherback and Crimson Typhoon. Leatherback has a lot more, durability, is more armored and stuff, and also has a more physical dominance than Crimson Typhoon does. And so I don't think, and correct, so like I don't think, and so I believe that if I remember correctly from Pacific Rim 2013, I remember that Crimson Typhoon isn't really as armored as the other kaiju's. Like he's really focuses on he focuses Crimson Typhoon. It focuses on speed, agility, and being a precise fighter. Just like Marshall Stacker Pentecost said earlier in the film when Raleigh Beckett is brought to the Shadow Dome. Another thing that can prove my point about Leatherback being like the kaiju made for taking down Crimson Typhoon is the fact that Crimson Typhoon is a digital Jaeger, and Leatherback has an EMP which can disable anything electronic, which is how he took down Striker Eureka later after Cherno Alpha and Crimson Typhoon went down. And so if Leatherback literally just has that tool to be able to disable Crimson Typhoon. The reason now for Otachi and for the Otachi and Cherno Alpha, the reason I think these two would work together, the reason these two were kind of meant for each other, as in Otachi was meant to take down Cherno, was because of the skills that, or because of what Cherno just lacks in general. For example, Otachi is fast, while Cherno Alpha is extremely slow. One of the heaviest Jaegers in the whole Pacific Rim franchise. And another thing is that Otachi has ranged attacks, which is just like Crimson Typhoon. Like Crimson Typhoon, he has a plasma caster, though it is never actually shown in the film at all. But we do know he has one. Cherno, on the other hand, does not have really any ranged attacks, except for those flamethrowers, which are also not used in the film, but flamethrowers do have limited range, while Otachi's acid spit, I guess you could call it, can shoot way farther than Cherno's flamethrowers can go. So this is another weakness that can be exploited by Otachi. It really just if you really just listen to the logic I've said throughout the video, it might start to make sense that Otachi was made for Cherno Alpha, because Otachi has speed and an actual good range attack, unlike Cherno, and that Leatherback was made for Crimson Typhoon. Because Leatherback is more armored and durable and has more raw strength than Crimson. So really, the point I've been trying to make for this video is that Crimson Typhoon could have taken down Otachi. It's just that Crimson Typhoon had he didn't have good defense, and he was moving really slow towards the end of the fight, and also he basically just let Otachi hit him in the start of the fight, I guess you could say, because he was looking the wrong direction. So really, what do you all think? Do you think that I am correct based on all the evidence I have provided? Or do you think that I'm wrong and is and that Otachi was meant for Crimson and Leatherback was meant for Cherno, and um, so that's just gonna be the end of the video. I'm gonna try to start posting more content in the future, but you might mostly see Pacific Rim videos, because one of my favorite franchises is Pacific Rim after all. So just bye everyone. Have a great day.